Hey, you, if you're new, welcome. I'm Kristen. I'm about to show you how to cook up all of this week's dinners. To get this meal started, you want to go ahead and get your vegetables cut up. Now, I peeled my potato and cut it up. You want to make sure that you start off with a sharp knife so that you don't have to fight with it the way that I did. But I mean, we got that thing cut up. With the onion, I don't really think that there's any particular way that you should cut it up. I put mine into dices. But I mean, once we cook this thing up, we're going to be cutting it up a little bit more to make it into a soup. So I don't think it really matters one way or another. Once you get everything chopped up, you want to go on and get it down into the crock pot. I hit mine with some onion powder and about 3/4 of a carton of the chicken broth. But look here, it's going to be dependent on how much potatoes and onions you're going to put down in your crock pot. You want to get that thing swimming, but not drowning in the deep end. I threw in 2 tablespoons of butter, hit it with a little salt, gave it a stir, and cooked that thing on low for about 5 hours. This step is how you bring in the creaminess and you make your soup thicken up. I added in about half of the 16-ounce container of sour cream, threw in a little heavy cream, a few tablespoons of the cornstarch, threw in a tablespoon of that minced garlic, whipped it up, and got it ready to go down in the crock pot. Once you have all that mixed up, go on and transfer it over into the crock pot. You want to get all that good and stirred up and keep cooking it on low for another hour. Now, if you have an immersion blender or something like that, it's going to be a lot easier to get this mixed up, but I just use my little chopper, and I like my potatoes to still have a little chunk in it. I don't like for it to be completely mixed, so this works out really good for the way that I like it. I went ahead and topped it off with a little bit of that Tony seasoning, whipped it up, and got that thing ready to go. To go with my potato soup, I paired mine up with some barbecue chicken from the grill. Now, if you want to do it the way I did it, I put some Tony seasoning on them things and hit it with the Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, and them things came out perfecto. On the top of my potato soup, I went ahead and put some of that shredded cheese and green onions. And I completely forgot about the bacon, but it's really good just the way that it is. To get this meal started, go on and get your ground beef down into the pan and start getting it cooked up. Now, I put some onion powder and some garlic powder off into mine, and I also went ahead and got my pasta cooked up in a separate pan, obviously in a separate pan, but you want to just go on and cook your pasta up according to whatever it says on that box. You want to make sure that you brown your ground beef or your ground turkey, whichever you use, but you want to get it browned up all the way because you want to make sure that you get as much of that grease out before we go in to start making our pasta. You want to toss in your diced onion and cook it off for about 5 to 10 minutes before we toss all the other ingredients in. Once you got it to the tenderness that you want, go ahead and toss in your meat and your salsa and your taco packet, and let's go on and get this thing mixed up. There's several different ways to make taco pasta, but this one is really like a simple, very easy way to make taco pasta. And if I had something to add, I would probably add me in a can of corn. Now, you want to make sure that you add in your taco packet and then the water that goes with the taco packet. You're going to need that. So make sure you add that in and get everything stirred up. Once you have everything blended together, then you want to go in with your creamy cheese. Now, I don't typically buy this brand because it's pretty expensive. It is good, but I really wanted the creaminess of it. And because I cannot cut my own cheese right now, this was kind of like the best option for me to get the creaminess that I desired and the cheesiness that I desired. And I'm just telling you, that thing came out just great. I paired mine up with a simple salad, and if you want to know how I made that, the link is going to be in the description. You can view it for free over on my Patreon. Now, I topped mine off with a little fresh red onion, some green onion, and a little bit of that corn chips. To get this meal started, you want to go on and get your vegetables and your chicken chopped up. Now, I put it in the side view over here so that we could get down to business and go on and get this thing cooked up. You want to cook up your vegetables about halfway through and then add in your chicken. Once you add in your chicken, I hit mine with some onion powder, garlic powder, Tony seasoning, and some Italian seasoning. When you're chopping up your chicken, you want to make sure you cut it up thin. Now, you might like yours a little bit thicker, but I like mine thin, and I also like to cut up my vegetables pretty thick. I like them thick because me and peppers, sweet peppers, oh yeah, it's going down. Now, you want to go on and cook up that chicken. It probably takes about 15 minutes or so. I cooked mine over medium because I really just like a low and slow type of cooking method. But you cook yours up however you want to. And once you get that thing cooked up, I went ahead and tossed in a little bit more of that Tony seasoning and then started layering in my cheese. Now, I put a few slices of pepper jack cheese on the bottom and then threw in the provolone cheese on the top. Put that top on it and let it get nice and melty, and oh my goodness, this thing right here was so good. I just scooped mine up right out the pan, threw it in the bun, and that thing was ready to go. Now, you can toast your bun if you want to, but to me, it was good just like this. I paired mine up with some French fries, threw them things down into the air fryer, tossed it with some Tony seasoning, and them things was ready to go. Different air fryers have different cook times, so just check yours and see how long you need to cook yours. To get this meal started, you want to go on and drop you in a whole stick of butter. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, and it is. And Alfredo sauce is not good for you, but we making it and we're gonna have it, and that's what it is. So melt down your butter while you're stirring in your minced garlic, and you want to get that butter all the way melted down, and then we're going to bring in the heavy cream. Now you want to slowly add in the heavy cream while you're whisking it in, and add you about a cup, maybe, I don't know. I added about 3/4 of this carton, and it was the tall one. So however much that is, I don't know. Y'all know I eyeball everything. I added in some Italian seasoning, and then I brought in the Parmesan cheese. Now, this is what I had in the fridge, so this is what I had to use. You can use any kind of Parmesan cheese that you like, but this is what I had in the fridge, and we needed some Alfredo, so this is what we went with. Now, you want to make sure that you keep stirring this thing up. You want it to bubble, but you don't want it to burn, so you have to keep whisking it. Keep stirring in that cheese, don't stop. Once you got it all the way blended up and bubbly, go on and cut it off and set it to the side. We threw our chicken on the grill and seasoned it up with the garlic parmesan seasoning, but I did not marinate my chicken, and I could definitely tell a difference. So you might want to marinate up your chicken, and you may even want to throw you on some of that Tony seasoning. But overall, it was pretty good. I got my green beans down into a pan and tossed in some onion. I simmered them on low for about 10 to 15 minutes after I got them up to a boil. To make the pasta, I went ahead and took my boiling water and put me in some of that Knorr's chicken bouillon, because flavor in your water brings so much flavor. It's better than just water. I also break my pasta before I put it in because, that's just how I roll. You want to cook up your pasta according to whatever your box says. Before we bring in the pasta, we want to go on and get this Alfredo sauce warmed back up and mixed back up real good. And once you do that, toss back in that pasta and start whipping it up. I made enough Alfredo sauce to cook up that whole box, but I only cooked half the box, so mine was extra Alfredo. Once my chicken was done, I went ahead and cut it up and got it ready to go on top of my pasta. Now, if you like to put yours in the pasta, then go on and put yours in and mix it up. I made plenty of sauce to do that, but I just like my chicken sitting on the top. You do yours how you like to eat yours. To get this meal started off, you want to go on and get them eggs done and then drop them down into an ice bath. That's going to help them eggshells come off a whole lot easier. I let mine sit in the ice bath until the ice is all the way melted. I like to go on and cut up my bacon in the way that I want to eat it before I cook it, because if you do it after it's already cooked, it really just kind of crumbles. So I want me some bacon bites, not like bacon little pieces of shard. I want this right here. I do recommend that you use the thick cut bacon because it just helps to bring some depth to the salad. But you go on and use whatever kind you like. But to me, that's just where it's at. I like to use a red onion in mine, but if you like a sweet onion or a yellow onion, go on and put which one you like in. This is just the one that I prefer, and I'm just saying, it is so good. Cut them up just the way you like to eat them. I don't really make a salad no more in my house without these green onions. So, I'm going to chop some of them things up and put them in. I cut my cherry tomatoes in half. I mean, it's just a personal preference. You don't have to do that, but that's just how I like it. Now, I went ahead and took my chicken from yesterday that I had cooked up on the grill and going ahead and cutting it up while it's cold and then warming it up. Man, it's so much easier to get that chicken done. I cut mine up into bite sizes, but I mean, if you want to cut yours up any kind of way, go on and get it done. So we're going to go on and get these eggs ready. I'm going to start off by taking the shell off, and you can see how easy this thing is just coming right off, and it's because I put it down into that ice bath and hit it with a little bit of salt while it was boiling. If you have an egg slicer, then go on and put it down in that thing, but I'm a little bit old-fashioned. I just like to go on and get it done, and this is how I get it done. Now to make my dressing, I'm going to go on and put me some ranch down into a bowl, and then I'm going to hit it with that pepperoni juice. That's going to bring in some flavor, and it's going to thin it out so that it's not so thick. Now to get this salad made up, we're going to go on with a bed of lettuce and then start layering in our ingredients. You don't have to do it any kind of particular way. In fact, you could just throw it all together and mix it all up. But I like the way that it looks, and I like the way that it tastes. I threw me on some Italian seasoning and some black pepper, and that baby was done. And let me tell you, this was my favorite meal of the whole week. If you want to get this week's meal plan and grocery list, all you have to do is click the link down in the description. That's going to carry you over to my Patreon. You can become a member, get your download, go grab your groceries, and get to cooking. Y'all have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week.